Howdy, folks. This is Todd. I'm a regular dude walking in the Word. Well, let me tell you something. It's payback time. All right. You're thinking, what are you talking about? Well, we're going through the book of Exodus right now, and there's been so much bad stuff that has happened to the people of Israel while in Egypt. All the slavery that's gone on for 400 years, and so now you're going to see here that it's time to pay up. All right. And so let's read today. We're going to be reading today from Exodus chapter 12, verses 34 to 42. Okay. So, and it's entitled Payback Time. All right. It says this: So the people took their dough before the yeast was added and carried it on their shoulders in the kneading troughs wrapped in clothing. The Israelites did as Moses instructed and asked the Egyptians for articles of silver and gold and for clothing. In the King James, it says like they asked to borrow this stuff. They didn't ask to. That's not a proper translation. They didn't ask to borrow. Like, oh, can I have that? And for a little while, no. It's like they're asking. I want that forever. Okay. Verse 36. The Lord had made the Egyptians favorably disposed toward the people, and they gave them whatever they asked for. So they plundered the Egyptians. Okay. So this, it wasn't just like there was a change in the Egyptian people all of a sudden go, oh yeah, we want to give you everything. This was operating through all the 10 plagues. As the 10 plagues were going along, the people of Egypt saw what was happening to the people of Israel. Nothing was happening to them, but all these bad things were happening to the people of Egypt. Even now to this last plague where people were dying, okay? And all their food was being, was gone by the wayside. So they are anxious for the people of Israel to go. So when the people of Israel ask them for something, say like, hey, you got all that jewelry you've been wearing for years. I'd like to have it. They would be like, yes, you can have the jewelry, but please go. So it might be like a bribery, like get out of here. But they were doing whatever they could for the Israeli people to go, because they could see if this was going to continue on, how many more plagues are going to happen. And as the plagues go on, they get worse, and pretty soon everyone's going to be dead. And the Egyptian officials said to Pharaoh quite a while back, hey, you need to let the people go because Egypt is already destroyed. All right. So verse 37, the Israelites journeyed from Ramses to Succoth. They were about 600,000 men on foot, besides women and children. 600,000. If you just add up, like, if every man is married to one wife, on the average, and then you have the children, let's not include children, but you're looking at like over 1 million people just in man and woman. Okay, then you have the children, and if they have two children, per thing, you're looking at 2 or 3 million people. Okay, so anyway, a lot of people are leaving here. Verse 38, many other people went up with them, and also large droves of livestock, both flocks and herds. With the dough the Israelites had brought from Egypt, they baked loaves of unleavened bread, and the dough was without yeast, because they had been driven out of Egypt and did not have time to prepare food for themselves. This was a huge undertaking to leave with all this stuff, okay, all those animals and all that stuff. And you sure didn't want to be delayed by like, oh, I can't leave yet because I got to wait for the bread to rise. There's like no time for that. Verse 40, now the length of time the Israelite people lived in Egypt was 430 years. At the end of 430 years, to the very day, all the Lord's divisions left Egypt, because the Lord kept vigil that night to bring them out of Egypt. On this night, all the Israelites are to keep the vigil to honor the Lord for generations to come. This is amazing. To the very day, okay? There's, if you're going to do that for the year, there's a 1 in 365 chance you're going to get the very day. But the Lord brought them out the very day that they first came into Egypt. So they'd been there for 430 years. And when they left with all the plunder from Egypt too. Okay, and we talked about that before, that it wasn't just they were just ripping off the Egyptians. This was going back to the back wages. There had been over 400 years of wages of them being slaves that they were now collecting on. All right, so all these things too will be used in the future for building the tabernacle and things like that. Okay, but I wanted to show you today that it was payback time. All this bad stuff that had been happening, now it was time to be redeemed, and they were going to be paying for it, and the Egyptian people were glad to pay it. Like, please, let me pay and let you get out of here, please. Thanks for watching. I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue our journey through Exodus. Lord's blessing. I'll see you then.